In the view of Buddhism, death is a very natural thing in the life of a being. Because this is as a result we are born. Death and birth is a cycle that continues to rotate as long as we are still attached to this world. And also death is not the end of everything. Like someone who is outside a room and wants to enter it, of course he has to go through a door, and after passing through the door he is now inside the room. Likewise, death is the door to the next life. So what is the need for us to wail over a corpse that will rot? This world is indeed strange. When we hear that a new baby has been born, we are so excited and celebrate. Even though we know that the baby is born only to experience death. Precisely, we should grieve at the birth of a baby, because he will be the next victim of the king of death. And we are so sad when someone we care about dies. We should be happy because he has been free from the misery of the world and death, even if only temporarily. Because his awareness will continue in his next life. It only brings good awareness or bad awareness, brings good provisions or brings a myriad of bad things. This is what will determine which realm a person will be born into. The Buddha said, according to the seed sown, that is the fruit he will reap. He who does good will receive goodness and happiness, and he who does evil will receive suffering and misery. Sayutta Nikaya I, 293. The actions performed while still alive will determine where a person will go to be born after death, and also what power of mind dominates at the time of death, whether thoughts of greed or attachment, thoughts of hatred, displeasure, or thoughts of ignorance and delusion that dominate. According to verse Dhammapada 126, there are different types of birth and what actions lead to them being born that way. 1. Gabba ek upajanti. Some living things are born through the womb. 2. Niraya pipakamino. Evildoers are quickly tormented in the realms of hell. 3. Saga sugatino yenti. Doers of virtue are reborn happily in the heavenly world. 4. Parinibbana and save. Who has been freed from taints after his death attains nibbana. If we want to look at the past, then look and pay attention to what is happening to us now. And if you want to see and know the future, look in the mirror at the actions you are doing now. Whatever we do, good or bad, we ourselves will feel it. What we do is good, the consequences are good, and what we do is bad, the consequences are bad. We are all wading through the ocean of samsara in this life. We need enough provisions to overcome all obstacles in our long journey before arriving at our destination. What is that provision? Namely, the services of good deeds. Only this will always be our most loyal friend wherever we go. He is a true treasure that will not be stolen, robbed, flooded, or burned. He will be an eternal treasure that is very helpful until we reach our final destination. Every human being will taste death. Death is a universal phenomenon that no one can avoid. Death also cannot be predicted when it will occur and is beyond human control. In Buddhist teachings, death is a very natural thing. If you don't want to die, then don't live. After knowing death and the stages of death in Buddhist teachings, in every religion there is a doctrine about returning to life after death in a different realm. In the concept of Buddhist teachings, it is also assumed that after death there is resurrection or rebirth. This is closely related to Kama. It can be proven in two suttas, namely Kula and Maha Kama Vibhanga Sutta. The meaning of Punarbhava certainly has something to do with the Vijnana of consciousness. The cause of human awareness of life is the human's own actions, both good and bad actions from the karma of previous lives. This is a factor that connects life in the past with life in the present, which is also called rebirth. Vijnana is actually found in the chain of Padasandhi Vijnana, or what is often known as Paticca Samuppada. Birth from a biological perspective is explained by intimate relations between a man or woman and the meeting of sperm cells and ovum until fertilization occurs. However, according to the Dhamma, these two factors cannot be said to be sufficient causes of birth, they are still just physical element. Therefore, it is very important that there is a third element, namely connecting consciousness or padasandhi vijnana. If it is analogous to us when we want to light a lamp which involves the elements of oil and wick. Even though the wick used is of good quality and the oil used is also of good quality and plenty of it, if there is no spark to ignite the lamp, it is impossible for the lamp to light up. We need to know that past actions are an inner energy of humans. The kama or karma from the past releases powerful energy in creating conditions in which a being will be reborn in a state or condition that matches the specific character of his past actions. Kama will definitely be accepted by every human being. If what you do now is good, you will be blessed with good karma too, and vice versa. This energy or power will later become the third element of padasandhi vijnana. Death is also a part of the broad process of life. What we plant now, when we are reborn, will be adjusted to the portion or characteristics according to what we do. Death in Buddhism is analogous to a broken incandescent lamp. The light goes out, but the electricity continues to burn. Then when a new lamp is installed, the lamp will turn on again. From here there is continuity in life. The destruction of the human body will not eliminate the karmic energy which will incarnate or appear in a new body. There is a saying that states, if you want to see your future, then look at what you are doing now. That way, basically now we are planning how our life will be in the future. In fact, humans are the architects or creators of their own happiness, and vice versa. There are steps or tips for facing death according to Buddha. A Buddhist should understand what causes death, what will happen after death, and anticipate that one will not be reborn in a lower realm than before. Every creature does not want the same or worse suffering again. As a Buddhist, you should always do good deeds, so that you have a greater chance of being reborn in a better realm than before. Then, when there is a person who faces the period before death, with a state of full awareness, and has a strong determination to be born in a certain realm which is of course a happy realm, this can be achieved by remembering the good deeds or services that have been done during life. As a Buddhist, of course you don't need to worry about facing death, because death is something that is normal, natural and bound to happen. Thus it is very important in daily life to contemplate on the death of Marananusati Bhavana. Marananusati Bhavana is one of the 10 kinds of contemplation or anusati in the 40 meditation objects in Samatha Bhavana. Death is part of the life process, and all beings will experience it. The only denial of death is the denial of rebirth. So, while living in the world, it is appropriate to always multiply good deeds, because time cannot be repeated. In essence, all living things are not eternal. There is a time when a living being is born and then at a certain time will die. Death is a universal thing because all living things will experience it, including humans. In the concept of Buddhism, life is described as suffering. Therefore, death is a way or time to end suffering. Suffering dukkha comes from the desire that always grows in humans, be it worldly lust, wanting to live again and others. Suffering can be eliminated by extinguishing the sense of desire in humans. That way a person will be released from dukkha and will reach nirvana. The concept of death according to the Theravada school cannot be separated from the existence of karma, which is a cause and effect or action will give rise to a reaction. What humans do now is a picture of the future life they will receive. Thus, in order to face death and avoid anxiety and fear, a Buddhist must always do good during his lifetime. Because no one knows when death will come. In facing death, a Buddhist is taught to always prioritize good deeds.